Hello and welcome to this YouTube video. So in this video I would like to call your attention to the footer and navbar. Now if you notice, in the footer in the home page there is data being saved from database, and you can see posts that are rendered from database. But if you go to the detail page, right, the data isn't being saved in this page and we can see nothing. So, and I want you to notice that the navbar in every page is also the same. So we are going to fix two things. We are going to fix the fact that we are always going to repeat code if we continue to do this way, and we're also going to fix the fact that data isn't being saved in the footer in other pages. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to use Django's default way of including from other files. So what that means is that Django is going to go into a particular template file, copy everything inside that file, and include it in a particular section of a page. Now the first thing that we need to do is create a file named nav.html. So what this really does is that it creates one single file that every other file can inherit from. So what we need to do is copy everything in the header section of our index.html file. Now once you've copied that, I want you to go to your nav.html file and paste it in. Now after doing this, we can essentially go into every other templates file, remove the header section, and tell Django that we want to include everything that is inside this nav.html file. Now if you notice here, we are saying include / we're going to say / nav.html because we're trying to tell Django that, okay, go into the nav.html file, inherit everything, and add this to this templates file. So once you refresh the page, you are going to notice that everything is working perfectly well and the navbar is still being displayed. So this basically means it is inheriting from the nav.html file, and you can see it is working perfectly well. So if we now try to remove it and refresh the page, I want you to take note of something. Once we refresh the page, you can see it has stopped working. That is to show you that when we now add it and refresh the page, it's working. That's to show you that our code is working perfectly well. So the next thing that we now need to do is we need to copy this include and add it to every other HTML file in our templates folder. So that is what we are going to do now. We are going to replace the header section in every other HTML file with this include tag. This is to make to stop redundancy, that is to stop us from constantly repeating code. So we're going to do the same thing in the article detail page, and then we're going to paste that right there. And then the next thing we need to do is we just need to make sure everything is working well. So the next thing we need to do is we now need to take note of the footer section, right? Now if you notice, in the index.html file, data is being rendered in the footer section, but in the article page, data isn't being rendered. So we need to fix that. We now need to create another file named footer.html. Now this is going to work exactly like the nav.html. Every other file is going to inherit from this footer.html file. So just copy everything in the footer section in the HTML page and then paste in the footer section in the footer.html page, I mean. So what you now need to do is, after doing that, I want you to save it. Then go back to your index.html file, and then we need to include this footer.html file because we need to tell Django that, okay, we need you to go into this file and include it. Now when we refresh, you are going to notice that everything is working perfectly well. It is inheriting from this footer.html file properly. Now we now need to do the same functionality for other pages like the article detail page. Now what we need to do is we need to now take note of something. We need to return this we need to return something in the context dictionary. So if you notice in the footer section, if we check, it is inheriting from a query set named post. If you check, it is saying for I in post in the footer section. Let's scroll down. You can see for I in post. So it is looping through this query set, and then it is displaying this data in the front end from this query set. Now what we need to do is go to the nav.html file, copy this line of code that brings this query set, and then we need to return it into this article detail page view. We are doing this because we need to return this particular data to this view so that the footer.html will be able to access this data in this particular view. Now, the one that in the index.html page, you would remember that this query set is being returned only to that view. Now, if we refresh the page and try, we're going to see nothing has worked. So we now forgot to do something. We need to add that include block in our article detail page for it to actually be able to include from this footer.html. So we're going to replace everything in the footer.html, right? We're going to copy everything and we are going to replace it with the include tag. So we'll say include blog app /footer.html, right? Just like that. So once we save and refresh, it is crashing. We can see that something else isn't being returned. The category in the footer isn't being returned. So what we need to do is we need to go back to our views.py file and fix that. Now we also need to return the categories that are going to be displayed in the footer. So we need to copy that from the home page view and paste that inside the article detail page view. Now after doing that, we need to take note of something, that some of these variables are clashing with each other. So when we put our comma, what we now need to do is we need to change these variables, because if we don't change it, they're going to clash with each other and give us an error. So now that we've changed these variables in the views.py, we need to go back to the article detail page where those variables are being used and change them so we can see that this is working. So we can see that the variables are working perfectly. Now when we refresh the page, we can see that the data is being returned perfectly to the front end and our include is working perfectly. So we can also see that the category is being returned perfectly well. Now I want you to take note of something, that the category that we changed before is a category for the particular blog post. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to put this include tag inside other pages where we are going to be into other pages that we are going to work with. And I also forgot to change the header section in the categories page. So after doing that, that should be all that we need to do in this video. Now in the next section, we're going to talk about setting up the models for the comment section. That is, we're going to write code that is going to allow users to be able to comment, or rather we're going to create tables in database that allow users comment. We're going to create database tables. So that is what we're going to talk about in the next video. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I am going to see you in the next one.